How does everyone deal with the fact that half the world is stupid? And don't give me the whole they're not stupid, they just have different perspectives. No, they're just dumb. Half the world has always been stupid. The internet and social media has got us here by giving them a platform to voice their opinion and network with other stupid people. And well, as they say, there's power in numbers. I wouldn't necessarily say half the world is stupid. I would say half the world, more particularly the US where I live, is ignorant, undereducated. I see in your other comments, and correct me if this summary is inaccurate, that you are frustrated by people claiming to have the same knowledge as you do, whereas you spend hours researching and their research is. My uncle shared this on Facebook. It is very frustrating when you try to provide information and try to keep an open mind when you have to deal with so many people who are so hard-headed. They are happy with their view of the world, view themselves as the good guys because of confirmation bias. Many ignorant, undereducated folks only listen to their brand of news, only have things supporting their opinions on their social network feed. They don't want to learn anything new that might shatter the illusion they created for themselves. They just want people to tell them they're right and often refute solid evidence by invalidating the source. It's very hard to get unbiased news and information unless you spend a lot of time looking at a vast array of sources. I've been taking a break from Facebook lately because I can't handle the divisiveness anymore. Regardless of how solid proof is, like video evidence, people will always find a way to explain it away when it doesn't fit the narrative. I've made a point to not interact with people who refuse to learn new things now. I'm willing to keep an open mind when someone else is, but when you show me that you are close-minded, I'm not going to waste any more time. This is the most accurate understanding of my mental state right now, and probably very wise advice. Thank you. I mean, it's unfair to rule out the prospective argument because to someone way smarter than yourself, you're pulled in with the people you consider stupid. It's all relative. I've got bad news for you. Everyone does stupid things sometimes. You yourself have been the idiot to other people, you just didn't realize it. There's a world of difference between sometimes doing stupid things and being unintelligent. I think you have to define what you mean by stupid. Intelligence manifests in different ways. Someone can get straight A's in school yet have no idea how to function in the real world. Others didn't graduate high school yet are highly intelligent and curious. Some are gifted in STEM, while others are gifted artistically. Then there are some who consciously shut their brains down and only read things that confirm their narrow view of the world. But if you're measuring stupidity against the yardstick of your own viewpoint of intelligence, then everything will be disappointing to you. We're all probably in the lower half for something. That's how the bell curve works. Or at least half of us are. Crap, I think I'm in the stupid half. Are you only truly stupid when you refuse to admit it? Learn. Do you mean stupid or ignorant? Because there are a lot of people who could otherwise be smart, if given the opportunities a lot of people like us get. I'd agree a lot of people are ignorant, but I don't know about half the world being stupid. TBH, I think a lot of very smart people just don't look smart because they don't have a good education or good life conditions. I'm 100% sure that a lot of people as smart as Einstein just weren't born in the right place at the time. It definitely depends a lot more of what you consider stupid, whether it be generic IQs, which are not a very accurate way of actually determining intelligence. Or are you asking about social intelligence? Or maybe it's personal intelligence? While I agree that a lot of people are ignorant to facts, to say they're stupid means nothing. So I think the question you're asking is, why are people so ignorant? And it's because ignorance is bliss, and you definitely don't see ignorant people staying up all night wondering why everyone's so ignorant. If it actually keeps you up at night, I'd recommend therapy. I'd honestly recommend therapy to anyone, but other people being stupid isn't worth losing sleep over, right? Talking with someone who better understands the cogs of the human mind and what's making yours tick might help. Nothing's been more useful to me than a relationship with a good therapist. Everyone should have therapy. I know you specifically asked not for us to comment on this, but I really do believe that perspective makes a huge difference. For example, my grandmother, a product of the 50s and 60s, fears large government or any cash payment in any form to anyone. She's not stupid. In fact, she was quite well educated, but the Red Scare turned her and an entire generation off of anything even remotely socialist. Most of us don't have this fear instilled in us from birth, so we don't feel the same way about these sorts of policies. In fact, I generally support some socialist ideas, including universal healthcare and a basic income, ideas so many people of my grandma's generation wouldn't even give a lick of thought. So that's a long way of saying that she isn't stupid. In fact, she has real concerns that outweigh some of the benefits that these proposals have. It all comes down to what people value. I'd say maybe 20% of the popular is genuinely stupid, nowhere near the 50% you proposed. They also seem to hear socialist and think communist. I think it is kind of stupid to lose sleep over a fact of life. You may as well lose sleep over people speaking French or liking sex. Honestly, I try to think along the lines of other perspectives and different lives and meanings and points. They have theirs and I have mine. Because hating something I have no control over has never done me any good. And on top of that, I recognize that a lot of people struggle and shut down and don't want to learn. Again, I can't change that. What I can do is I can learn and educate and change my own perspective. I can also take time to appreciate other things about humanity, the wholesome moments, like when strangers dance together near a busker, or wave at people on boats or buses and they wave back. There's a lot of good out there. You can choose to see it, or you can choose to focus on your perception of the bad. I would seriously recommend finding a professional to talk to, even just to explore the idea. It could be anxiety, low self-esteem, unacknowledged anger. I'm saying this from experience. You have control over you and you alone. Don't let yourself get eaten up. Probably a dumb sounding answer, but whatever. I try and be compassionate and understanding of other people's limitations, and I try and surround myself with people smarter than myself. I don't know if that helps at all. I'm not really great at explaining stuff. Also, I think you are overestimating the amount of idiots in the world. I think the person who posted this and half the commentators are absolutely brain dead. You really think you're smarter than half the world? Frick off. I try to remember that even though I believe I'm smart and have informed opinions, that still doesn't mean I'm not in the stupid half. I mean, statistically you're right. If intelligence follows a bell curve, half the population falls under average. Anyways, the thing is that it's out of anyone's control and no amount of worrying over it will change that. It sounds like you may have some tendencies towards anxiety and obsessive or intrusive thoughts. I deal with this as well. And some nights I will be up for hours hyper focused on something other people would say, why are you even thinking about that? You might benefit from talking to a therapist that can help you learn techniques to let go of things outside of your immediate control, and to identify triggers and thought patterns and how to break them. We can't deal with it. That's why world is falling apart. The stupid will do us all in and there is nothing we can do about it. The question is, who are the stupid ones in that scenario? I know I'm far too late to this thread for my comment to really be seen, but OP, perhaps you'll benefit from this perspective. I was raised in a cult. Out of 6 kids, 2 left, including myself. Your post might presume that the difference between the 2 of us who got out and the 4 that stayed in is intelligence. And in a small way you may be right, because critical thinking skills do have a role to play. But there actually is a much bigger factor, which is tolerance for cognitive dissonance. Brains hate cognitive dissonance. It actively hurts them. Brains prefer to grab onto some facts that comprise a worldview that it perceives keeps it safe, decide that's what's best for its survival, and never let go. Changing those worldviews is deeply, deeply painful and traumatic for a brain. For a short while, it throws everything into question. You lose even your core sense of identity. Questioning tribal wisdom is not a great way to survive. You lose the strength of your pack and your social supports. You get cast out to fend for yourself. You have to build up new ideas and worldviews on your own, which is much more time and energy consuming than just adopting them from those around you. And doing this regularly, questioning your core beliefs on a regular basis, trying to put yourself in the shoes of people with other beliefs. Again, this is a deeply terrifying and existential exercise for the brain. So it's not going to want to do it all the time. Unfortunately, our minds have some shortcuts they take that prioritize safety, security and sureness over accuracy. It's human nature and probably evolutionarily favorable to become better at defeating this instinct, one must become deeply acquainted with discomfort and embrace it and seek it out in all forms. And understandably not many people are motivated to do that. You just gotta accept that there's a whole lot of crap in this world you can't control, but recognize you can control yourself. I know it's frustrating, but this will never end as long as you're alive. No point in letting it keep you up at night. You got your business to handle, and I honestly think we talk in far more than 50%. I could just be an arrogant bastard, but I think most people are either stupid or bitter to the point to where they think and act illogically. Let them be. You can't fix stupid, but you can just kick back and watch the crap show. You can laugh or cry. That's up to you. This comment should be at the top, as it's the first one that answers the ARP's question. Welcome to your first mini epiphany. Now understand that there are millions of people who would in turn consider you to be stupid. I hate to be a dong, but this post gives off strong vibes of midwitism. Just smart enough to see the charade but not smart enough to see the bigger picture. I can honestly say if you're so much smarter than half the world, you wouldn't waste a second of your valuable, limited time posting asinine questions on Reddit pretending to be brilliant. If you were so smart, you'd be taking the time to do smart stuff rather than staying up in the middle of the night thinking about how half the world is stupid as heck compared to you. You are on the same half of the world I'm on, buddy, lol. I don't cope. I socially isolate myself until I find gatherings of like-minded people. Otherwise I just stay quiet and let people be stupid. Nice to know I'm not alone to do this. I think George Carlin said it best when he said, think of how stupid the average person is, and realize half of them are stupider than that. I've lived my life remembering this every day. Life's too short to honestly worry about things you can't control. So what if half the world is stupid? That means there are billions of smart people. Learn from both stupid and not, and do the best you can. Do you believe that you are part of the not stupid half and the people you think are part of the stupid half? Do you think they are part of the not stupid half then? What is the real stupid half? How do you know you're not part of it? I also think there is a lot of stupid people that you can see on social media. But if I believe I'm not stupid, maybe I may be part of it with it. It's all relative, bro. It's an entire stupidity spectrum that encompasses the whole human race. And since all are stupid, none are. I'm retarded saint some things and a god at others. I can go on a 30-minute rant about World War II, but we'll have a breakdown if someone asks me what. 7,388, 6,363, 7,363,627, 7,383,636 divide x's. We shouldn't look at people as stupid, but uneducated. We should also realize that we are, in most occasions, only seeing a small cross-section of someone's life whose priorities may not align with your own. I feel guilty saying this, but for a while I thought my girlfriend was kind of dumb. We would argue over things, money investment, diet information, time management, that she was sure she was right about, even though I knew for a fact she was doing something silly. It wasn't until I stepped back and looked at the source of her opinions and beliefs did I see the issue. She was educated in a country with a much lower standard of education than my home country. The information I take for granted every day was not afforded to her, and my blatantly stating she was wrong and pushing my superior knowledge onto her only made her feel inadequate and caused her to double down on her beliefs. Once I realized that, I changed my tactic. Instead of telling her what I know and trying to force her to see she was wrong, I encouraged her to do more research on her own and to arrive at her own conclusions. 9/10 times she would come back and say she did more research and she realized what she was doing was wrong. I feel good because I don't have to watch her make a mistake, and she feels great because she came to her own conclusion. She wasn't dumb, she just hadn't been taught that this particular topic had more nuance to it. If you want to claim you are one of the smart ones, you need to be smart enough to know that every person has a different upbringing, different problem solving skills, and different areas of expertise. Not everyone is living the same life as you and as such watch you intelligence, others might not, and vice versa. My girlfriend, who I love very much, may not know much about what she should do with her income each month because she never found herself in a situation in which money was tight and needed to be watched carefully. But I wouldn't dare question her knowledge in her field of research. She knows more about environmental management than I could possibly hope to learn. I guarantee you have been in a conversation with someone with different life priorities and they have looked at you the same way you seem to look at others around you. With how many people there are, it's hard to think I'm any smarter than they are, so I don't let it bother me unless they are directly impacting me. Humans are advanced creatures. People on Reddit like to act like we are nothing special, but we really are. Humans have the ability to build off of each other in a scholarly way. We are also still animals. We have instincts and intuition. Some people choose the scholarly method and some choose their natural instincts or gut feeling, as you put it in a comment. I don't find anything wrong with either. In a world where natural selection is brute forced by the human race, even the most stupid of people get to pass on their genes and have offsprings. I wouldn't be extinct right now if natural selection was a thing though. My worldview is that everyone is stupid. That includes me as well. That is fair. I know people who aren't stupid about certain things and pretty much retarded about other things. I'd say our evolution has yet to overcome this problem of us being stupid. There are truly amazing people out there with seriously amazing brains, but still everyone has a bit of dumb in them. And there are the obviously stupid people who are so dumb that they make you despair and doubt that the human race will survive for long. Sure, some stupidity is innate, but I also feel like the bigger problem is a lot of stupidity is learned. Too many stupid things are seen as legitimate by people, and that perpetuates the stupidity. I think even moderately intelligent people can fall victim to it if their social circle and media sources are feeding them bad information. So basically propaganda is the bigger problem, not stupid people. The internet has cranked propaganda up to 11. Not bad, because I understand power. It's very hard to have power if you are dumb, and if you are one of the exceptions that does, you likely won't optimize it. I just try to be a positive person with new people, unless they are aggressive or something. You can't really teach them or debate them out of being stupid because they'll just shut down. Anyone would. So you just gotta stay calm and hear them out and kindly question what confuses you politely. Hopefully they ask you at some point what you think and why, and you just gotta politely state your case. It's really hard. If they start yelling or acting smug, they're too far gone, and I just pray for them. My dad always says you can't teach people what they know cause they already know it, and you can't teach them what they don't know because they can't even fathom it. The most you can do is lead them to suspect. Everybody is a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it is stupid Einstein. It's not half, it's 80%. In my family we call them 80%ers, 80%ers, and of that 80% is the bottom 20% who are just so thick it's ironically beyond the top 20%'s comprehension. Define stupid. I mean, by definition, about half the world has below average intelligence. That's what average means in this case. Around 50% of the world have a lower IQ and 50% have a higher IQ than 100. If that surprises you, maybe you are stupid. If by stupid you mean that half the world sometimes makes decisions that are irrational, guided by emotions rather than fact, or run counter to their own interests, then I'd argue that describes 100% of the world, because that is just how humans work. We tend to see it more in others, but none of us are purely rational emotionless machines without any hang-ups. If by stupid you mean that half the world is irrationally attached to their tribe, to an us versus them mentality, that is, people belonging to the same religion, nation, ethnicity or political party, then again I'd argue that this is how human psychology works. People who think they are open-minded often just fail to see their own biases because they think their biases are facts, whereas the other side is wrong. If by stupid you mean that half the world is woefully uninformed, then yes, you might have a point. Uneducated people pose a certain risk to society when put in a position to influence decisions. That is, voting. I can't remember where I heard this, but I love the saying society moves at the pace of its slowest member. It explained so much. Half are stupid. and another massive chunk have neurosis that force them into dumb behavior, religious beliefs, societal norms, bad parenting, bad peers, childhood poverty. The problem is that most people never learn critical thinking. They only learn how to remember and regurgitate information, and they never learn how to analyze and rate information. But they think they're smart because they ace tests or managed to get a high-paying job. The messed up part is that most of the other half aren't all that smart either. Compare 99% of the population to people like Einstein, and we are all just a bunch of dress-up chimps. It's like a different species. If it was 50% dumb as dirt and 50% highly intelligent, that wouldn't be so bad. But the fact that most people, including the ones running things, are dumb as a box of rocks sort of bums me out. And the thing that really eats me up is that the most successful people are often dumb, while the least successful are relatively smart. There is absolutely no seeming correlation between intellect and achievement, at least not financial achievement. The problem isn't so much that half the people in the world are stupid, it's that everyone thinks they're in the smart half. By reminding myself that I could just as easily be one of the dummies. Stupid people don't know they're stupid and just imagine the silliness of losing sleep over all the stupid people in the world when you're one of them. There never seems to be any question as to whether or not the stupid people are over there. They are certainly never right here. Maybe if we fostered a culture that wasn't so quick to find fault with everyone else and encouraged us to rather be willing to question our own motives and thought processes, and have them challenged by others, we'd be able to inoculate ourselves to some degree against all this stupidity you think you're seeing in others. I try and educate the slightly stupid people that are willing to listen. The people that are too stupid aren't willing to listen. You look the other way and hope they don't breed their stupid ideas. No sense in wasting time effort on a lost cause. It is also important to remember that you are also flawed. I like to call myself an intelligent idiot, though moron would probably be more correct. Reminding yourself grounds you and prevents you from hating people who aren't over 9,000 IQ. Because I'm so smart, which is toxic and creates a negative connotation to being smart, well educated. We want brain power to be seen as an attractive trait, something to strive towards. Half, maybe 0.1% of the population is intelligent and productive, at best. I definitely don't consider myself to be in that 0.1%, even though I would traditionally be considered to be well educated, well experienced, and own several businesses. What do you mean deal with it? Majority of people can't comprehend how infinitesimal our lives are. They recently discovered 120,000-year-old footprints in Saudi Arabia. We don't even know crap about what happened 5,000 years ago, much less 120,000. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.